UnitedHealthcare cycling team, and we're at stage 3 of Tour California.
My name is Jacques-Maynes, ride for the BISSELL Pro cycling team. We're here at finish stage 3 in Modesto of the Amgen Tour California.
Phil Gaimon, Kenda 5 hour represented by GearGrinder, and 5 hour Engergy. This is the Tour of California. Today was stage 3, finishing in Modesto, California.
Well, it was a long day. We got in the early breakaway. We got away pretty early in the stage, almost right off the gun, and we rode out there for, I would have to say, probably about 170K before we got caught. And it was a long day riding. We had headwind most of the day, and so you were just on the pedals all day. It was a hard day, and everyone worked well.
Well, they start off with like the hardest neutral section you've ever seen. It had like 2 walls in it, plus some sketchy corners, and then they didn't really hold anybody back. So we were doing some wind sprints in the neutral just to start it out. Then we head up the hill. They get on the actual race course, and some guys just took off. I tagged the move, and I was figuring it was going to be attack, 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 attack. Nope, one move, we're gone, easy, done. Then in the last sprint, which came about, I think, 25 miles to the finish, is my plan to counterattack the sprint. Let the guys go for it, just come over the top of them and keep going. And I guess Jan Barta, the NetApp guy, he had the exact same idea. It was almost like a coordinated team attack. We both just went at once. We looked at each other like, oh, we'll keep going.
It was strange today. We had little neutral circuits, and then sit at the front, and the guy put the flag down, and I kind of looked over at my teammate Roman was next to me, and I was like, hey, is the race starting? Is it over? And he said, yeah, go. And I went. And then it was me and 7 other guys. We never really were in the race. There were 6 other guys. Yeah, I guess the field just kind of stopped, and we got up to 6.5 minutes pretty quick. And then we just got to hang out in the wind and rain all day. It was fun.
The race, when we got caught just sort of before the crosswind section. So in that section, it just sort of broke apart and just found a good group, and I was fairly confident it was going to come back together, because looking at the stage 4 on the map, there was no section long enough that I thought that could really do damage. And as soon as we turned back in the corner to the headwind, it all came back together. And then from there, for me, I was quite tired from the day, so I just sort of, rolled in the best I could, and I think I finished somewhere in a group. I'm not sure where, but yeah. So after the breakaway, I didn't have much left, and the team they're working for Robert Forster in the sprints, so my job was done, and the other boys took over when we hit the circuits.
Well, you can imagine 120 miles or so off the front into the headwind. My legs were pretty toast. So we hit the circuits, didn't have a whole lot of acceleration left, but I was kind of weaseling my way through the corners, like backing off and railing the corner, catching back up through the corners. So just trying not to slow down and re-accelerate as much as possible. Then there was a big crash. I saw some guy just absolutely knocked out, and then that was the end of my day. I knew I wasn't going to be able to re-accelerate back up to race pace from that. So, and riding's on the wall, and it's not like I need to make it into the lead group, just time cut, that's fine. So I just kind of cruised in after that.
Oh, way off the back at the end. I was in there to like 80, 85 miles, something like that, and then I just kind of hit the wall. I hadn't eaten enough, hadn't done a ride that long or hard ever, so it's kind of a trial by fire thing. Yeah, so I came back in the field, and it was easy in the field. When there's a big group, it's no big deal. And came out with like 10K to go when they started picking it up for the field sprint. And why?
It's big for any team. With the Tour of California and live coverage, anytime you're in the breakaway, you can be on TV for 3 hours, and 2.5 of that they're showing the breakaway. So it's a huge for any team, and I think especially the smaller domestic teams in the U.S. Not that we're really a smaller team, but anytime you can get a rider in the breakaway, it's great publicity for the team, and people are watching you all day, and people are cheering on the side of the road. So I mean, you can't really ask for, besides winning the stage, maybe you can't really ask for any better publicity.
Well, in any televised race, there's not a whole lot going on for most of the day, and so then the breakaway gets all the attention. For Team Bissell, we want to get a lot of attention during the race, either from our race results or for being in the breakaway. So we've got the two-pronged attack where we're going to be in the breakaway every single day, and you'll see that for this race. My brother was in the breakaway yesterday. I was in the breakaway today. You'll see some of our racers in the breakaway tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. That's just part of how we roll. Then we are getting top 20, top 10 stage finishes. So we're trying to just get as much attention for Team Bissell as we can. And you'll see us in the breakaway every single day. We're an aggressive group of guys. We're all really strong. We have no problem making the breakaway, so we just go do it.
Yeah, it's really important to be in the break. We sort of missed it yesterday. It was a small group, so that wasn't that big of a deal. But and you can't make them all. But being in the break, you get the exposure for your team, you get the sponsors, and that's what they pay for. So that's what we want. It's kind of like every day the goal is to race well and get a result, and then get on TV, get the sponsors their money's worth. So it would have been hell to pay if we missed it today, 2 days in a row.
I wasn't so bad. I mean, it was a little bit wet, but it wasn't so cold, and I don't think it played a huge role today. And it was dry for the finish. If it was wet in the finish on those circuits, it may have played out a bit different. It may have been, even though there were crashes, but it may have done a bit more damage to the field. But at least it was dry for the circuit, and the rest of the day, I mean, it was raining, but it wasn't so cold. And I mean, professional cyclists are pretty used to riding in all sorts of conditions, so I don't think it really had a huge impact on the race today.
The headwind was pretty strong. It was 120 miles with headwind the entire way. But, it's part of racing, and the guys behind, chasing us, they have the exact same headwind. So they got to work harder, we got to work harder, kind of balances out. There was a bunch of rain, even right off the start. It started pouring on us, and I was pretty happy to not be in the pack at that point because that can get kind of sketchy. But overall, the weather doesn't bug me too much, so personally, I'm totally fine with it. But, I think it was kind of miserable. We're looking forward to some sunny days from here on out.
Wouldn't call it an issue. I mean, we all just went slower and were a little more pissed off, but it's pretty much the same issue for everybody. It's still better than it was when I did this race in 2009 when 10 degrees colder and raining the entire day or the entire week. I didn't take off my Gore-Tex jacket the whole race, so today at least it was a little warmer. Took off the rain jacket pretty quick and survived. Nobody's getting sick yet after it, so it helps.
We have Rory Sutherland here for the riding for the general. So I think tomorrow and the 2 mountain days, I think we're going to be key riders for supporting him the best we can, to get him onto the last climb in the best position possible so he can just do his thing. And I mean, for me, hopefully maybe get another breakaway or have a good day one day and get on the podium and kiss my wife. It would be fantastic.
Well, as I said, Bissell Pro Cycling Team is here to make the race and represent our sponsors as best we can. I don't have any aspirations for the GC, so I'm going to be looking for stage placings or, like today, making the breakaway. So I'm out there to put the name out. My legs are great. I was riding really well up in the circuits yesterday, going to Sacramento. Today I rode the breakaway all day, so I'm pretty happy with how I'm going so far. Tomorrow's another day, probably not suited for me, so I get to kind of kick back and catch my breath, re-energize, and then the day after that, I might go on the breakaway again. We'll see. So I'm really, pretty optimistic for a good placing in a stage or getting another breakaway. Just trying to put the name Bissell Pro Cycling out there as much as I can.
Goal number 1 is to eat enough to survive tomorrow. And yeah, kind of day at a time. Probably, I mean, I'm not going to be in the GC, so Hopefully, next couple days, kind of survival mode and get my legs back under me, and then near the end of the week, maybe make another break or go for a result on the climb. Always trying to keep Ben Day up there because he's in the hunt for the GC, and then Sean and Luca are sprinters. Sean was 10th yesterday, and I'm not sure where he ended up today, but we've still got a couple of weapons there.
Saw one guy who had a sign that said, "Sorry about the weather," which I thought was quite interesting. That was pretty cool. And
Side of the road.
There was a pet llama out on the course, and the lady had him on a leash and everything. Like, that's a weird dog. You know, that's a llama, right, lady? It's kind of weird, but what can you do? Everybody's got their own kind of pet, so she had a pet llama.
Yeah, like early in the race, like the first 20, 30K or something, there was a guy, like everybody wants you to toss them their bottles for some reason. They want your used bottles. And there was a guy who had a sign with a little target on it, and it was draped on his chest. And it's like, if they hit the sign, but if they miss, like he's gonna get hit in the face. So that was kind of like, we worry about him. He's probably hurt by now. He's in the hospital somewhere, is my guess. And then there were the standard dudes with thongs and capes that you had to chase. It's always pretty